Hi, I'm Kaylee, and these are the books that I read in February. I read 10 books in February, so still not a great reading month. I just have a lot going on in my personal life right now, and I just don't seem to be finding the time to read like I normally do. However, I'm hoping that in March I can catch up, but I'm definitely falling behind these first couple months of the year with my reading goals. Before we dive into everything that I read, I'm gonna reach back here to our Booktuber Shoutout book and we'll do a shout out for somebody. Today's shout out goes to Okie Dokie Boki. I will leave a link to their channel in the description. Be sure to go over and subscribe to them. If you haven't already, please do subscribe to this channel and give this video a thumbs up if you had a great reading month in February. And be sure to follow me over on Instagram and Goodreads and Storygraph and all the places. So first we're going to talk about the 2 books that I read for the Febregency readathon. I've already done another video all about Kenilworth by Sir Walter Scott. I really love Sir Walter Scott, and this one did not disappoint. I enjoyed it a lot, and I had a lot of things to say about it, so that's in another video. And I also read the 11th book in the Jane Austen mystery series by Stephanie Barron. This one was Jane and the Canterbury Tale. This is a murder mystery series where Jane Austen is the main character, and it does use actual historic events from her life and people she really knew and things that she really said and did and places that she visited. But then on top of that is a fictional murder mystery. So I really like that there's this blend of real, true historical facts about Jane Austen, but then you get all the fun of Jane playing amateur detective to solve a murder mystery. In this 11th book in the series, Jane is visiting her brother Edward, and because he is the magistrate of the county, then when there is a murder, he has to investigate, and Jane ends up helping him. The best part about this book was the interaction between Jane and her niece Fanny. So that was really fun to imagine that family dynamic between them. I also read The Red Thread by Roderick Townley. Dana has disturbing dreams about a boy being murdered centuries in the past. Her psychologist hypnotizes her so that she can access memories from her past lives. And she begins to realize that people from her past lives, their reincarnations are still nearby in her current life. And it turns out that one of them might have been a murderer in a past life. I really enjoyed the twists and turns of the mystery as Dana uncovers more memories from her past lives. The writing is excellent. It really draws you in with very emotional scenes. However, there are a few violent scenes, and it just got to where I didn't want to read this book at night because I was afraid it would give me nightmares. But I did really like how the whole mystery hinges on the personalities of the characters. I gave it 3 stars. I read Bachelor's Bounty by Grace S. Richmond. Scott is under doctor's orders to spend a quiet summer in the country. His next-door neighbors are an invalid gentleman and his lovely daughter, Barbara. He strikes up a friendship with them until Caroline, an old flame of his from the city, comes to call. She shows up with her little 6-year-old son and leaves him with Scott for the summer while she goes traveling abroad. Scott's peaceful country life is thrown into turmoil, especially because he wonders what the neighbors might think, especially one very pretty neighbor. I loved this delightful story and the old-fashioned writing style. I really loved the contrast between Caroline and Barbara. Caroline is the society belle, immature and selfish, whereas Barbara is simple and natural and sincere. And caught between these 2 completely different women is Scott. But I really loved that it's not just about him choosing between these 2 women or between like the city life and the country life. It's about him discovering what does he really want for his own life and what strengths and weaknesses does he have in his own character. This choice that he has to make between these 2 different lives and these 2 different women becomes the crucible for his personality to develop. I really liked that this story has truly meaningful, deep, serious themes. I gave it 5 stars. Absolutely delightful. I read the entire series of Moongobble and Me by Bruce Coville. These are adorable little chapter books about a young boy who becomes an apprentice to a wizard, but the wizard Moongobble is just not a very good wizard. Most of the time when he casts a spell, he just turns whatever it is into cheese. It's really adorable, just so cute. I gave the whole series 4 stars. And I also read book 4 in the Basil of Baker Street series. This is Basil in Mexico. I especially enjoyed this one because I grew up in Mexico and Basil visits the capital city where I grew up. So he talks about the volcano, Popocatépetl. He talks about the National Palace and different places that I have visited, that I grew up near there. And of course, there's a delightful little mystery, and Basil cannot solve the mystery unless he has his wonderful sidekick, Dawson, by his side. Completely adorable, and I gave it 5 stars. And those are the books that I read in February. I really need to start reading some more. Hopefully March will be a much better reading month. Please leave me a comment and let me know what are some great books that you've been reading recently. What is just one of your favorites that you've really fallen in love with in the last couple months. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and remember, the right book in the right hands at the right time can change the world.